In this video, I'm going to be digging up, well, not necessarily digging up, but in this video, I'm going to be creating a new garden bed. What's going on, everybody? This is Chaz with Homegrown How To. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time, thanks for coming by. Now I'm going to try creating this garden bed in kind of a non-traditional method. I'm going to be using the no-dig method. To say I'm not going to be digging at all is incorrect, but for the most part I'm going to be using very minimal digging. You can see I've got some painted lines marking my bed, so this part is going to be the new garden bed. I think I'm going to probably plant a few trees in here, give some shade to our basketball court over here and the area where the kids like to ride their bikes and whatnot. I'm definitely going to plant some sort of an ornamental tree over here. I've already kind of started planting a few trees in this area, and I did use my garden hose to kind of lay that out, get an idea of exactly what I wanted, and then kind of traced that garden hose with the paint to make a nice curved edge. Always happy to see earthworms in my soil whenever I have to dig it up. It means you've got good, healthy soil. Check out that big old fatty. Whoo! Nice. It's a pretty deep edge there. Now I've got these stepping stones that I've got to get up. I'm excited to not have to trim these things every time I mow because it's such a pain in the butt, and if I ever forgot to do it, they would look like crap. They were cool, it was a cool idea, and they were definitely useful for the stepping stones to get from that patio to the basketball court, but cannot stand mowing and trimming around those things. It's a pain in the butt. So I'll probably still utilize those stepping stones in this area just so we could still walk from the patio to the basketball court without getting muddy or dirty. Now we're going to go ahead and probably flatten out some of this grass, get some of it probably moved and thrown away. I do want to keep as much organic material on top of the lawn just so that it can help amend the soil, create good soil, because that is my ultimate goal here with the no dig project. My little boy decided to bring dad some hot cocoa. What a nice kid. Best hot cocoa I've ever had. And now before I get going on any sort of establishing that bed at all, there's a few things I've got to do. So I'm going to be running that sprinkler right up through that little trench on the right there. Put it right in the corner over here. I'm going to use this little coupling here. This sprinkler here is the one that I am going to be capping, so I'm just going to remove the rotary head. And I've got a 3/4 inch cap that I can just screw right onto that fitting, and this will be a temporary fix until I plant something in this area. Everything is pretty much prepped for getting the new compost to throw in this area to create that garden bed. I've got a bunch of cardboard down in my basement that I'm going to have to bring up. I'm going to use that to help kind of smother up the lawn. Alright, so currently I'm down in my basement. I've got all of this cardboard here. I'm going to be laying that as kind of my base layer on top of all of the dirt and grass that's in that area. First things first, with all of this cardboard, any of these stickers and all of this tape, I've got to get all of that off of all of this cardboard. I'm pounding this process out inside because Right now it's kind of raining a little bit outside and it's pretty chilly, so we're gonna go ahead and get this done and here, and then we'll move outside and get all that taken care of. And after doing a little bit of researching, I found that the black Amazon packaging tape, it is a paper tape, so that is fully compostable. It's got some fibers in it that is also compostable as well. So I just ended up removing all of the packaging labels as well as any of the plastic packaging tape, and now we're good to go. Let's go take them outside and get going in the yard and get this garden bed done. Look at that beautiful pile of compost. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw down the cardboard on top of all this layer here. Smother all of that live grass. Keep the sun away from it so it will not grow or spread. Eventually it's basically like a sitting compost, so it will basically decompose that grass and turn that soil into wonderful soil for the garden, for whatever I end up planting in here. So that is the idea with this. Again, I do have that Kentucky bluegrass that spreads and grows pretty quickly, so I'm a little nervous that this is not going to work, but I think it's worth a shot. Worst case scenario is I can always come in with a herbicide and spray that, but I'm hoping to not use any chemicals with this and just kind of go with the natural process here and see how it works. And some of you may be wondering why I'm not just using a weed barrier cloth. Well, the reason for that is that weed barrier cloth does not decompose and essentially does no good. And to me, that weed barrier cloth is just kind of a pain in the ass, because if you want to plant anything, you have to cut through it, and kind of defeats the purpose of the weed barrier cloth. I'm ready to start shoveling that soil onto the garden and get this taken care of. So here we go. So if I was working on a dry day, I would be using my garden hose a lot more. I would be wetting the cardboard as well as the ground beforehand, just because that kind of helps speed up the decomposition process. Water does play a big role in this, but since I'm working on a rainy day, all of my soil's wet, my cardboard's getting wet, and the ground was wet beforehand as well. Now when doing this method, you can use any type of material. I'm using compost, you can use mulch or any other type of soil, but no matter what type of material you use, you do want to make sure you pile it on pretty thick. You want to do about 4 to 6 inches thick at least. You can go higher, but at least 4 to 6 inches. I did get that garden bed finished, got that mulch all spread out, I got everything installed, everything's working and looking awesome as of right now, so I'm pretty excited about this. I might mess with the stepping stones a little bit more here in the future, but I've got one here just so that there's easier access from the basketball court into the grassy area. As you can see, I utilize those stepping stones here within the garden as well. You've got easy access from the court to the patio, and from the patio and the court back around to the grassy area over here. I do want y'all to check out the awesome edge. It does need to be a little bit more cleaned up, but for right now it's kind of what we're going to deal with. It looks awesome. I love the natural edge. So now to finish up that bed, we've got to get some things planted in there. I do have some saplings coming from Arbor Day Foundation. I'll probably throw a few of them in there and get the growing on those started, and I also plan on transplanting a few things and moving it over into this area as well. So hopefully over the next year or so, this garden bed will be nice and established and have some things growing and looking good in there. So if you have any questions or comments on what we did with this process, please let me know in the comments section below. If you liked this video or found it helpful, subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.